Hi, everybody. Welcome to Spiritual Discoveries with Angie and Friends. I am here today with my friend Jill Mattson. I welcome Jill. Welcome, Jill.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here and share with this lovely audience.
Yes, I'm delighted to have you here too.
For your show now, press 1. To hear
Everybody,
important
bear with us.
instructions,
We're
press
getting
2.
on the radio.
Since it appears
We'll
you're
be
calling
right
back
on.
into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
All right, here we go. There's always these technical things in the beginning. Thank goodness Mercury's out of retrograde, right, Jill? So it should be smooth. Okay. All right. So everybody, again, if you're just tuning in, my name is Reverend Angie Abt. I'm a registered Lilly medium, graduate of Fellowships of the Spirit, owner of Santosha Holistic Center, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. This is Spiritual Discoveries with Angie and Friends, and my good friend today is Jill Mattson. Welcome, Jill.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so everybody, I'm going to start just give a minute to let you all get on, because we're on Facebook Live as well as Lily Dale Blog Talk Radio. And so I just want to say, are you all excited? Because June 24th, which is coming up in, I think, 3 weeks, it might be 2. I'm not looking at a calendar, but that's Lily Dale's opening day. So July 24th or June 24th is Lily Dale's opening day. And a lot of people are excited because the Tibetan monks are going to be there for opening weekend. So we're really excited about that. We haven't seen them in a couple of years. This year hopes to be a promising season. There's so much going on. And Jill, I know you're teaching in Lilydale, and what's your favorite thing in Lilydale?
I think I like the feeling that comes out of the ground. It feels clear and cleaning and cleansing and purifying.
Yes. And wouldn't you say too, there's something about when you walk in, there's something about it. It's so peaceful.
Yeah. And I feel like it's like sacred ground.
Yeah, it sure is. Hi Linda. Oh, hi Melanie. My sister from Texas is on. That's the beauty of Zoom. So that's what I just did on Facebook to switch us so that people could say hi to us. So we'd love to have you come on, say hi, and let us know where you're from. So I want again introduce Jill Mattson to everybody. Jill's got some awesome classes coming up in Lilydale and also at Fellowships of the Spirit. And so I want to talk about those classes because there's so much you can learn from her. And I'm going to start out, I'm going to read you her bio so you know who Jill is. And a lot of you, I bet you know who she is because I've seen you at so many shows through the years. Because you come down to Buffalo and do the shows as well, right? The holistic shows. So Jill Mattson is a prolific artist, musician, and author. Jill is a widely recognized expert and composer in the field of sound healing. I love sound healing. She has produced 9 CDs with intriguing magical tracks using ancient and modern techniques and special healing frequencies to achieve profound benefits. And I have to say, a couple people wrote on the comments that they have your CDs, that they're going to tune in today. And I have some of your CDs also. And we're going to talk about, all right, so let me go back to this. Jill's a 4-time author, okay, The Lost Waves of Time, Best Book of 2016, and Best Alternative Science Book of 2016. Deep Wave Body Healing CD, Best Sound Healing CD of 2016. This is awesome. Congratulations, Jill. These are great. Contacting Angels and Masters CD, Best CD of 2015, and Deep Wave Beauty CD, Best New Age CD Silver Award. That's great. I can understand why. I love your CDs, and I've heard people talk about your CDs for years, actually, and talk about how wonderful they are. Jill has participated in many hundreds of teleseminars, radio shows, and appeared in many magazines. She offers an online sound healing school, which I think is very exciting, and presents new ways of approaching health and everyday issues using the benefits of sound. Free music. I won't go to that part. So, Jill, I want to ask you first, what does that mean that you're a prolific artist, musician, and author? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I do spirit paintings, and I have about 500 of them, and I've had many gallery shows. Authors, I think I'm getting ready to publish my 5th book.
Wow.
And my 4th book wasn't on that bio. The 4th book was Home of Power.
Okay.
I'm getting to the place now where I can hear sounds coming out of shapes. And so I understand. And also there's many other people ahead of me that teach that shapes and 2D shapes, 3D shapes produce sounds and they alter us. So taking a musical look at feng shui in that book. And musician, I compose my own music and perform it. And then I've spent my life studying energy, and everything's energy.
Yeah.
And you can count its pulse, its rate, how fast or slow it pulses. And that's called frequency.
Uh-huh.
And some are in our hearing range and some aren't. Even if an energy isn't in our hearing range, energy travels through resonance through octaves. So all sounds out of your hearing range, you still absorb and influence you. And keeping that in mind, and 30 years of study of ancient, because the ancient people understood sound to be medicine.
Okay.
And science is kind of catching up.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much you can align the periodic chart of elements, which is everything that we know of, with a musical scale.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to play the frequency of niacin, it's a supplement that makes your face flush. You don't take the pill. I just play the sound precisely.
Really?
Your face is going to flush.
Wow.
So energy exchanges with your fields. We're not aware of it because it's subtle.
Okay.
But like I have CDs with vitamins in, and you can take a look at everything in your body in terms of frequency with software. There's many ways to do it. I use the way of Sherry Edwards and using her software and technology, and your voice breaks down into 1,000 frequencies, each one representing some in your body. Other people do the same thing through sweat, through your aura. There's lots of ways. We're holographic.
Okay.
Anyway,
let me just ask you a question. So when you're saying like you're playing the frequencies, like is that on a sound bowl or a tuning fork, or what do you mean by that?
When I go in for a precise frequency, what I've learned is that you got to hit the nail on the head. So if you want 16.7 cycles per second, you want 16.7 cycles per second.
Okay.
And that's kind of hard. Our computers are all calibrated. They don't really care about accuracy, the sound cards. So I use a sound generator that's independent, that's going to give me dead on that frequency. We tend to think that louder is more and better, but louder gives you more frequencies into your ears, and your ears converts it to like a digital format. They average the frequencies for fast transport through the internet, if you will, of your nervous system. Whereas some of the more impactual frequencies, according to many physicists, such as Robert Becker, are very subtle. One's coming in from the stars, the movements in the heavens, and you buy them off of NASA or satellites. It's not a theory, it's a fact.
Right.
And the same with earth currents. There's little paths. They used to be called ley lines. They have different names now, but they're still there.
Yeah.
And they can make you very ill. They can make you well.
Yeah.
You can measure them. And they're all beneath our hearing. But they have everything to do with our health. And I believe that they probably enter through our skin because everything interacts.
They enter through, what did you say? They enter through what? The skin? Skin. Okay, skin.
Or bones, with resonance. But what you have on your skin is you get a cell-to-cell transfer.
Okay.
And it's like an analog film. So like think of those old-fashioned cameras with the slide film. Every dot, every grade of gray is on that film. No matter how good your digital camera is, everything's approximated.
Okay.
And what I've learned through 30 years of studying is that with sound healing, approximate doesn't cut the mustard with your body. Your body wants it dead on.
Okay.
So I do that. I do that through frequencies, through sound generators. I've had software that can mimic harmonic and reflective sound waves that you don't get on digital, but there's other ways to skin the cat.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can ingest vitamins. You can tune your muscles. I have CDs that put light in your aura, get rid of your negative thoughts, feelings. I mean, I could just go on and on.
And it's all with sound, right? Like, I mean, I remember one time I had a gentleman, and I can't think of his name right now, but he came to my center, to Santosha Holistic, and did a class on sound bowls. And at the end of the class, he had us. You could lay on the floor or sit. And I remember he took a sound bowl and he put it on my back, and then he walked around and he played the bowls, and it was amazing. Like, they were on people's laps, on their wherever they wanted them to be, and I was amazed at how not even every time when he hit the bowl that was on my back, I could feel the vibration. I felt so good, but really it was every bowl he was playing, and probably he was doing that was playing frequencies like you're saying.
And the point that I'm making is that that's live, which means that's like that old-fashioned camera.
Mm-hmm.
And so those live bowls are going to give you, like, a sound sounds like one sound, but it's really a symphony of sounds. It has partial or harmonic tones. So a sound, it's like a fractal. You can break any sound A into all these component pitches. And what you'll find is your digestion, your metabolism, all your cycles and body processes, you can look at their cycles per second or frequencies, which are numbers like 10 or 11 cycles per second. They're in formulas, like your digestion process is a chemical formula. You insert the sound CPS or numbers, the formula works. And you'll find that the formulas mock these harmonic chains, these mathematical patterns found within sound. Therefore, that's why you loved that sound bath.
Loved it, yeah.
Because it was live, and your body loves to get like a tune-up of all those harmonic processes.
Yeah, and I think and I love that you're explaining it, because I didn't know why, and I know that people are so drawn to sound right now, and sound bath, sound baths or sound bowl things very much. I remember I saw you at a show before probably 3 years ago, and I wanted a sound bowl. I really wanted a singing bowl, and you probably don't remember because you were busy, but you told me to look at them and see which one I was drawn to and then play it. And it was funny because the one I was drawn to, I could play so easily, and I still do, and if I need like a pick me up or whatever, I play it all the time.
So if you really love music, your body will release endorphins because it gives you certain frequencies. It gives you energy just the same as food does.
Okay.
And it's the same as, like, I think when you really crave a food, there's most likely a reason why your body's craving it. You probably need it.
Yeah. So if you're craving, but that makes good sense. And that's why you told me, because it sort of felt like, in fact, I went back because I think I was kind of across from you at another table, and I kept going back, and I thought that's the one. I just know, like, I loved them all, but I just knew that was the one. And so probably I needed that frequency.
Correct.
Yeah. That's
correct.
awesome.
Your body chose, and your body signaled to you that one.
Yeah, no, I loved it. You said it, and I thought, okay, I don't know, but I did it, and that's trusting your intuition, of course. And then you also had like the tuning forks, which I thought were pretty awesome as well.
I came up with crystal tuning forks, and they're gaining popularity now, which is kind of exciting. But so I have a 428, a 522. I have chakra, or the whole cosmic rays tuning forks, and I came out with sun and moon tuning forks, kind of to accompany one of the classes I'm doing at fellowships, in which we're going into the ancient religions and maybe the time before the flood, or the temples before most of the ancient temples. So they're temples to the sun. And they had marvelous techniques for enlightenment, ascension, health, advancing your spirituality, all through the celestial body of the sun and sometimes the moon. So,
Wow.
um,
I want to see those. I want to check those out for sure. So, and this is interesting because I'm going back to what you were saying about that you can have those frequencies and not, did you say, and not take vitamins, have the sound instead.
and so you can look at every frequency in your body. Like I think it's my Deep Wave Beauty CD has the vitamins and it tunes the muscles in your body, which tightens them. And so you can look at your frequencies, look at your vitamins, listen to the music, look at your frequencies and see them increase. Now, there's a thing with sound healing dosage. If you're down a little bit on your vitamins, a little bit of listenings will do you. If you're down a lot, you're going to need to listen a lot. So sound can pretty much undo anything, but anything that's chronic or way out of whack takes more listening. And your body will tell you how much by what you enjoy. I remember being a kid and having a favorite song.
Yeah.
And listening.
Oh, yeah.
And then one day I didn't like it. I was done with it. And that's because it had done its magic. It had healed me and I was ready to go on to something else.
Wow. I love that because, I do that today. I'll have a certain song that I'll listen to over and over and over again, and it makes me feel, I think, or it does something. I feel like it always makes me heal. Never looked at it in the way that you're saying, but that makes really good sense. And then you're done with it. Then you don't listen to it again for a long time again.
Yeah.
That's
And even feelings, enlightenment is light. Light is the combination of all the colors. So even feelings, you need balance in all of your feelings. So, and a feeling's going to be an octave of a muscle, of a vitamin, of a this, or that. And there's energy transfers between octaves. Octaves is the same note, CC. So even feelings, by going in and balancing your feelings, it's that kind of like balancing your emotions influences your health, influences your thoughts. Everything's vibratory and overlaps, and enlightenment is balance of all the subsets.
So it's all related. Yeah, I even think this, sometimes I'll listen to a song that'll make me cry. And I think I needed to cry, right? Which is why I did that.
So what it does is it takes a little sorrow or a little negativity. And let's say I worry a lot. So I put negative energy into my lining of my tummy. And eventually I'll get a ulcer if it builds up and I don't do something about it. But like if I'm going to get rid of that worry by sound, I'm going to literally resonate and vibrate with the feeling and the cycle per second of worry. All that stuff's mapped out. And it might feel, this is my healing flower symphonies, it might feel a little annoying for a split second because you can have negativity, toxins stuck in tissues physically. And when you vibrate them loose. And so you'll have just a second and then it pops right out of your body.
Wow.
And so you pop out the memory, the emotion, the toxin, the blockage and flow of energy or nutrients to your body.
Wow. What a wonderful way to do that. I'm just thinking my sister was on and she's had stomach issues. And Melanie, I hope you're still on listening to this because I'm going to get you Jill's CD because I think it might help with what you're saying. Hi Judy. I just saw Judy pop down. Hi Terry Sweet too. Nice to see you. I'm going to ask just one more quick thing on that. Probably a question for me. I recently had back surgery, and I'm still kind of healing from that. And I'm thinking probably I should have used sound to help me heal and to take care of the pain part of it, which is much better than pain medicine, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, first of all, with the organs, I think it's my Deep Wave Body Healing does. I'm thinking 15, 18 organs in your body. So each organ, like your stomach, is going to have a resonant frequency. Remember I told you about a frequency. It sounds like one sound, but you can use software and break it into its component pitches, much like a rainbow could combine into white light. And so so each sound has its component pitches. So let's say, I'm making these numbers up because I don't know if off the top of my head, but let's say your tummy's a D,
Uh-huh.
a musical note a D. Well, then you're going to have a harmonic or an accompaniment pattern of partial tones. And so like the overall frequency of the stomach is D, but maybe close to an F sharp is one valve, and maybe an A, DFA would be close to an A, would be like the lining of the tummy, and maybe, another D might be another aorta, but you'll find the components within an organ are going to harmonize with the root note or the collective average frequency of the organ. And anyway, that's in that CD.
Yeah.
And then I got new music coming out. It's not quite on my website yet, but it will be.
Okay.
It's what I did was I went into ancient astrology way before the Ptolemies in ancient the latter part of Egypt, way back to like Samaria, the ancient zoology, astrology. And in that method, they used astrology as sound.
Mhm.
So it wasn't so much to predict, it was there are challenging energies that come in from space. Science has proved that.
Yeah.
They do influence us, that's fact. And they had music to counter it. And so astrology then was balancing with harmony in nature, the sky and the earth. And they left their correspondences. And I've written a book about Sherry Edwards' work where she's measuring sound in the body.
I was going to ask you that, yeah.
And it correlates exactly. The ancient stuff and her stuff, there's no variation. It's dead on.
Awesome.
So there's like 2 affirmations. But anyway, so they would assign notes in the night sky. Now, they didn't use our Aries, Taurus, and so forth. They used different stars, like, so forth. But they were tracing a circle around the night sky in a similar way. And they assigned tones to them. And so those tones also happen to be the tones of your vertebrae in your spine to tune it. So I'll be coming out of them. I mean, isn't that cool? You can use the night stars in your spine.
Yes.
And then your spine, of course, has connections to other organs. There's a chiropractor in Ensenada, California. And so he can do blood tests and say, I'm making this up because I don't know, but you'll get the point. Like maybe your third vertebrae connects to your thorax. I don't know if it does or not, but just say so. And then he would test your thorax. So if your third vertebrae is out, your thorax is out, period. That was consistent. Now, if he popped it back in, he's a chiropractor with his thumb, then it wouldn't last. They'd come in next week and the week after, and the blood work didn't change. They still had a problem with the thorax. And if he tuned it, then the blood work turned to normal and they didn't come back.
Wow. I'm getting chills. Goosebumps.
So
funny
tuning your spine.
To you today. Yeah. Funny. Isn't that something, like how the universe always points us where we need to be, right?
And how beautiful that it corresponds to the zodiac.
I know. I love it too. My sister is on and she said, yes, definitely. Thank you. So, and hi, Andy, how are you? Andy wants to know, how do we order the CDs?
JillsWingsOfLight.com.
Okay, actually, it's right up here on the screen. So if you go to Jill's website, again, Jill's Wings of Flight, I love that.com, and you can take a look at her CDs. She's got a lot of CDs, and they're awesome. And why? I mean, I love that. I really connect to music, and if I can use music to heal, I mean, that's amazing. Jill, I want to ask you this because you brought up Sherry Edwards, and I read something on your site. I didn't write the whole thing down, but your collaboration with her to help with the coronavirus.
We did 2 collaborations, and the music is free, and it's on JillsWingsOfLight.com. Free stuff. The free stuff tab in the right-hand corner. But the first one was, how to put this? She can look at a body and watch the frequencies change as, let's say, a virus takes over. So she can also identify the actual virus and, count its cycle per second. I did Ebola music for her. We did music to eradicate Ebola before. So the manner in which she did this was, she would get the frequencies and we would counter it. So think of 10 times 1 over 10 cancels each other out.
Mhm.
And that worked for the subsequent epidemics, like bird flu and this flu and that flu. But it didn't work for the coronavirus because usually a virus is a chain of virus. Like, when you're going to overcome something like that, I'm going to take 8 to 11 frequencies, and usually Sherry gives them to me. It's her science, it's her discovery there. And so she'll give me the frequencies to counter, and they cancel out. But in the coronavirus, they must have been man-made because once you killed one, it triggered the other. You killed one, the trigger. So in that ring, the corona ring, it's like as soon as your immune system got rid of one, virus cell, it triggered a new one to be spawned.
Yeah.
So you couldn't do it in the normal way. So she's very ingenious, and she watched the body fall apart with the coronavirus. So first it went in for glutathione, kind of like found in broccoli, and then it went in with zinc was important. But anyway, it's all written up, and all the nutrients and everything's right on that site. I think there's 11 different items that fall apart.
Mhm.
And so we built them up.
Mhm.
So if it's constantly attacking your glutathione, like gets rid of all your nutrients that you need to defend yourself,
Right.
then we keep building them. So that's how that worked. It was very effective.
Amazing.
We've got
Very
a lot of tremendous comments. And then we did another one because the long-term effects of vaccines and virus are inflammation.
Mhm.
And inflammation by, heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, a lot of the big killers list one of their primary causes is inflammation. And the coronavirus, no matter which way you went, it's really stressing that. So again, we came up with 11 factors that reduce inflammation, and that's called deep healing. That's there as well. Then also, I also give away some of my music, some for the aura, some for emotional clearing, a sample from star tuning, a sample. I think I have one of the organ tunes. So there's a tremendous amount of free stuff.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
a lot of videos too.
That's nice because
really
then they can try them out and then get the CDs. You know what I'm thinking? I want to ask you too, because I do readings, and I've sure done a lot of readings lately for people, with everything going on in the world. A lot of people have been depressed, a lot of grief. You must have a CD for well, you said emotional, right?
Right. I would do the emotional one, and then usually musical notes kind of relating to orange, red, and yellow, or C, D, and E. Music in those key signatures would be helpful, and the zodiac music would be helpful. I'm going to be coming out with them shortly, but and I think right now they're offered on uwealthrevolution.com. But anyway, so Aries, Taurus, Gemini, those songs from the zodiac would also counter the depression.
Oh, okay. Okay. I love that. We have a question. So hi, Dana. Is there another way to purchase the music? CDs are becoming obsolete.
Yeah, they're digital downloads. You can do either way.
Oh, all right. So you can do a
digital.
so Dana, you can do a digital download. That's awesome. That's really true. Whoever would have thought that CDs would be obsolete, but yeah, technology is moving fast. So I want to get to because our time goes by quickly, and I know you have some awesome classes coming up. And I'm going to have Karen. By the way, everybody, Karen's in the background helping us again. Thanks, Karen. Do you want to pull things up like one by one with the classes, and everybody can check out what Jill has? Okay. So, all right. So Atlantis Rising, okay, with Jill, and it's July 23rd, 9:30 to 4:30. And that's in Lilydale. So that's offered in person or on Zoom. Nice that we can do that now, that we can be in person or on Zoom. And if we're on Zoom, and no matter where you live, you can take the class. So Jill, can you tell us about that class?
I think the most exciting thing about the Atlantis Rising class is I spend a lot of time with hands-on Akashic Records. And think of the Akashic Records as every thought, feeling, and action you've made in this life or any life. You created it, and it doesn't uncreate. So, like, if Hitler's been here and had World War II, when he dies, the ravages of World War II don't go away.
Yeah.
They were created.
Yeah.
And so when we think of ascension enlightenment, I used to think of just right this life. But what I've learned is that it's all my lives in a way that's all happening at once. So if I've had trauma, and most people have had 600 to 1,000 lives, we've all had horrific things. And whether we did them or received them, it almost doesn't matter. We have these huge dark energy blocks, and you'll find today's problems are linked to yesterday problems. So with the Akashic Records, we go in a sound-based way, and we're going to do a lot of hands-on to go back into past lives. But the important thing is not so much, oh, isn't this cool? The important thing is locating blockages that keep reoccurring and that are recurring in this lifetime.
Wow.
And clearing them, because you are the author of you.
Yes.
And even though you wrote those past lives, you're still the author, and you can go in and add it. And here's an example. In one of my workshops, a lady came in with a walker. Took her about 15 minutes to go 15 feet. And so we did a past life, and she was a general, and she had lost a battle. She was in like a red coat. I don't know. She was well dressed for a general. And she kneels down and offers a sword. They've been defeated. And the opposing general comes up, takes up the sword, has her stand up, and slices her legs off at her knees.
Oh,
yeah.
I know. I don't even
bleed out.
Yeah.
And so we spent about 10 minutes with forgiveness, just going in there and releasing that, because that was definitely not called for. And she walked out without a walker. Now,
Really?
I didn't keep in touch with her. Maybe it lasted an hour. Maybe it was permanent. I don't really know. But I do know time and time again, you clear up stuff in the past, and you're clearing up the source.
Yes.
So I'm spending a lot of time in this class on the Akashic Records to give you mastery of all your lives. And a lot of our current problems, we have these problems, but we're not dealing with the source. So learning that source. Also in that class, work a lot with crystal skulls and how to tie into them, how to program them. And with a lot of the temples, and they did spiritual techniques and practices and healings in their various temples.
Okay.
So it's just a fun and
that sounds like a great class, and it's cool. Like you said, it's not just for the cool part, but it is. But I mean, it's so useful, because you're right. You have to go back to the core, or go back to the cause of where something started. And I agree. I think a lot of times the things that were probably always the ailments or the things we're dealing with in this life can be connected to the past. That sounds like an excellent class. You mentioned the crystal skulls. Do people have to do they have to bring anything to the class, or do you offer things for sale?
No, I can just show them. I guess I would just spend some time demonstrating. On my website, if anybody's interested, if you go to Crystal Skulls, I have about an hour's of instruction. It's all free. But you'd go under the shop and go to Crystal Skulls. So I talk about how to heal with them, how to program them, how to heal others with them, how to clear blockages, how to protect yourself with them, how to tie into others. So you can do that right now if you'd like.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Let me just say real quick to everybody too, because I have so July 23rd in Lilydale, or via Zoom with Jill Mattson, Atlantis Rising, and Karen has right on screen, and it's going to be in the comments, if you want to register for this class. It sounds like an excellent class. I would definitely register, but there's a link for you there that you can very easily. So, okay, go ahead. I wanted to mention that before I forgot.
Oh, okay. So I I don't know. Do you want to talk about the ones in fellowships?
Yes, and also I want to give you a comment too. Hi, Kathy. Haven't talked to you in a while. She says this is amazing. I just started using sound frequency healing. Are Jill's CDs binaural soundtracks? I'm familiar with the chiropractor in California that she mentioned.
I have some binaural beats in some of them, but there's many ways that sound can heal. Sound can heal through binaural beats. And for those of you that don't know, we've evolved over millions of years, I suppose, some form of Homo sapiens or other. And because our head's in the way, if you hear something right here, this ear doesn't get it. And it confuses your brain because unbeknownst to our conscious self, we hear in surround sound. So then when you hear something in like a stereo, we haven't evolved millions of years with headsets. And so what your brain does is, let's say you have 10 cycles per second here, 8 cycles per second here, is that the two halves of your brain open up and communicate together. So you've already induced whole brain functioning, which increases your mental power. The more you do that, the more you double your brain power. It's a really good thing.
Yes.
And then your frequencies are combined in low octaves. So you can have your 10 and your 8, they'll subtract and you'll hear 6, which is kind of boring because you can hear 6 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that your entire brain hemispheres then will sync to the sound. It's called resonance. They're now down to 6 cycles per second. And that takes you into a meditative state. So on my site, the way I approach binaural beats is have these little sound light machines that do that like 150 ways. And they also put in frequencies in your eyes because light's frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And they just take you right down. You'll find that your psychic skills are just a conscious habit of going to certain cycles per second.
Yes.
So you can energize, you can sleep, you can learn your psychic. And I put it all in one little machine. That's how I address it. It is in some of my CDs, but I choose in my CDs to do frequency healing. It's a different type of healing. It's a healing coming in through here, through your skin, through resonance with your bones. And it's very precise. And it's anything live is better than digital. So what I do when I need critical healing frequencies is I manufacture harmonics.
Mm-hmm.
The harmonics, Angie, that you felt with that bowl.
Yeah.
You know, I'm creating them with a computer generated thing, and they're very subtle. You're probably not even going to notice them, but they're in the background. And they're going to give you that whole formula that matches a lot of the body processes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then with frequency healing, you can do individuals or you can do general.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have diabetes, I'm going to listen to something to you if you don't.
Right.
And you wouldn't want to listen to a diabetes because it could be bad for you. Just like you wouldn't go in the hospital and go, oh, candy in everybody's medicine dish, you know.
Yeah, no.
Same. You can do the same with sound.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
So all of my CDs are a blessing to anybody. So you can do drive-by healings.
Mm-hmm.
You can do emotional healing for people in the room without knowing it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You can light their aura. You can tune their body. You can connect with celestial realms. You can do all kinds of things. And it's they're all certain frequencies and certain tunings and directions that heal everybody.
Love.
And everybody up. So
love this. People are excited. I'm reading the comments and everybody's very excited about this. Yes, I am too. I'm so happy that you're on. So let's go to the fellowships classes. Karen, do you want to pull those up? So Jill has the class in Lilydale, and now we have a couple of other different classes that are fellowships of the spirit. Are those Zoom as well or in person and Zoom? I'm not sure how
I
those
believe they're just Zoom.
Okay. All right.
Right there.
So anybody can come, you guys. Easy, and you can take it from your home, which is so nice. So
Yeah.
this is our powerful connections with celestial frequencies of the sun and moon, and this is the one that you had created the tuning forks for,
Right.
ones, and this is Tuesday and Thursday, June 14th and 16th. Everybody, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Zoom. I love it, and www.fellowshipsspirit.org, and you can register for that. And I'm sure we're going to post the link. And Jill, tell us about this one.
All righty. When you look at the ancient temples,
Mm-hmm.
you'll find that there's temples underneath the temples, like deep in the ground is the temple of Osiris in Egypt. It's one of the earlier temples. When you go around the world, there's the oldest of the oldest of the oldest temples. They're temples to the sun. And under many temples, like a pantheon, like to Jupiter or this or that or this or that, underneath you'll see in the archaeological records, there's temples to the sun.
Mhm.
So what is it about these early times in the temples of the sun? Well, two things. One is when you go back really very far in the past, you like the Sumerian histories, they
Mhm.
start off with the history book starts off with their history. And they start off with the gods. They start off with other races that are not Homo sapiens and that are more evolved, usually giants. And there's even like different phases of the gods. And it's clearly seen with the Greeks, where they
Mhm.
have the gods and the titans.
Right.
Titans are taller, they're bigger, and actually they're more powerful. And so when you start to look around the whole globe, China, South America, Indians, all of, Druids, all of them, the whole earth, you find everybody's talking about these more evolved beings. And most of them, if not all of them, their most central thing is the temple to the sun. So I'm suggesting, and others suggest, that these are pre-flood civilizations that have survived and perhaps have thought to come back and teach us.
Wow.
So, and there's a lot of really good stuff on that. Laura Atwood has a real book on the religion of the sun, and William Henry on Gaia has Ascension Keepers, and there's many of them. But in essence, it's what was the emphasis super duper way back.
Mhm.
And I love the way William Henry does it. He divides it between rules and just simple oneness. So
Mhm.
think of rules as the 10 commandments, as things recommended to do in, the Muslims, the Hindus, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the when you really go back far, it's that you're God, look within. And they have a lot of detailed techniques and really cool stuff. But in essence, it's a quick grace, loveness, forgiveness. They would never do a sacrifice of an animal or a person. They're vegetarians. They're into resurrection. They're interested in ascension directly, grace, forgiveness. They're developing your third eye. They often have the elongated skulls. And so they have this like, I don't know, divine grace.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just couldn't relate to the divine grace. And so later on, I think they came in with rules. Think to the Old Testament. Okay, don't kill, don't steal, don't cheat,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah.
But, and people get carried away with those. So they become hammers instead of hammers to hit you rather
Yeah.
than hammers to build.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when you get into these ancient temples, it's like this magnanimous instant grace. And to accompany that, I have music,
Yeah.
that theme. And it's coming in from a book from Dean Hammer, 2004. He's a geneticist. And he identified a gene that only people that are very, very, very spiritual have. It's called VTMAT2. I don't know. It's got a name.
Okay.
And you can look at it under a microscope. And they define spirituality as someone who can get really totally lost in the moment, someone who feels connected to everyone, someone who's into mysticism. Probably everybody on the show has this gene.
Yes. Yes.
Probably everybody has a gene, but it's dwarfed in some people.
Yes.
And my dear friend Sherry Edwards, bless her soul,
Mhm.
Identified the frequency of the gene, its activator, and its protein. So even if it's dwarfed, I'm thinking, well, I would suspect the Dalai Lama has a bigger gene or more presence than I do. And but I have the frequency of this gene in Sound and Music, and its activator, its protein. So anyone who comes to the class, we're going to be working with the God gene and coming home with the God gene music.
God gene. Okay, I was just going to ask if it's the God gene because I had that. How in sync we are, because that was my next question to ask you. So there you go. But okay, so that's awesome. So it almost kind of sounds like you're coming to class and you're learning a lot, and you're really experiencing healing in class.
Absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
maybe think of a Reiki treatment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then when you know, the ancient, how did these ancient people, how did they heal? It's quite different than our healing techniques today. And I'll just give you a little story. Think that we think Gaia is the spirit that inhabits Earth. Well, they thought there's a spirit that inhabits the sun, hence the temples to the sun. So think that God has a god, Helios, I think, and I'll channel him too. But they would they weren't as involved into matter. They're looking into the god of the sun. Well, I don't know, is there a god of the solar system? What about the universe?
Right. Right.
And what about multi-universes?
Right.
So if and here's another thing. We think of two violins and you play this A string, it resonates with this A string. They often talked about resonance without that name, but they would say this solar system resonates with that one. And they're talking about resonance between, let's say, Earth and Sirius or Orion or Arcturus. They're talking about energy exchanges like we would think of between violins in a galactic sense.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this broader view of God being consciousness and all that is, and they looked big, really big.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of meditations, but one of the ways they did that was that they tried to emulate the bigger gods, meaning if you could view consciousness from outside the solar system, and they would like think of like a breath in, out, 2 seconds. They would think of like day and night, 2 seconds.
Right.
So they would breathe, they would live in harmony with every fractal of God, they would the circadian rhythms. And I believe in 2017 someone got a Nobel Prize just for showing the importance of circadian rhythms. Blending your life with the sun and the moon, using them as like a cosmic vending machine. And so they found that, I think it was, again, many of the current diseases, AHDH, obesity, inflammation, infection, diabetes, heart disease, gastrointestinal stuff, arthritis, mood disorders, all this stuff is tremendously reversed by adhering to circadian rhythms of sun and moon. So, you can use them in a big way, and there's a ton of techniques that we're going to learn and experience, but you can use them in big ways, small ways. I mean, use them for sleep, weight gain, for acuity in your mind, building your light bodies, reducing pain, all kinds of stuff.
Amazing. So everybody listen to that and what you're going to learn and how you can heal yourself. Like so many different things are being more alignment. So our powerful connections with celestial frequencies of the sun and moon, 2-evening seminar with Jill Mattson, June 14th and 16th, 6:30 to 8:30. It's hosted by Fellowships of the Spirit, and you can come and take it in person. But guess what? I see Carrie from Scottsdale, Arizona on. Hi, Carrie. You can take the class too from your living room. So that's what's awesome about Zoom. So Jill,
just to correct when you said you can come to Fellowships, it's Zoom only.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh God, good thing Karen came on. Okay. The Lilydale class is in person, I mixed that. Sorry, everybody. Okay. So, good. We have Karen. Okay. So, Jill has another class too. I want to make sure you guys get to know about all her classes because they're amazing. So this one also at Fellowships on Zoom. So not in person, just on Zoom, which honestly myself, I teach on Zoom and I find it's the same and people love it. So if you haven't tried it, try it for sure. But this is power and healing for you from higher dimensions. Access higher dimensions and experience past and future lives. I love that. Okay. And that's with Jill, Tuesday and Thursday, July 19th and 21st. 5 to 6 p.m. And again, hosted by Fellowship. So Jill, I love the graphic, Karen. I know Karen makes the graphics. That's very cool. And I want to hear, I'm excited to hear about this one.
Well, if you again, going into antiquity, talking about dimensions from their perspective. In the higher dimensions, you drop duality, which is kind of like a harmonizing, balancing, enlightening. And there are techniques throughout the ages and modern techniques that'll take us so we can look at going into the fifth dimension, different dimensions, and then time being a dimension, going forward and past. So, well, I used to be a violin teacher. I haven't done it lately, but I would teach my students to program really powerful energy for any solo performance. And it was just a technique to basically put energy into the future so that so you could download it when you didn't really have focus or attention to download it. Again, going back into the past, like the Akashic Records, not just for entertainment, but for understanding, for clearing, for big shifts. And then also going in dimensions, going in on the time bench dimensions, maybe going to your future self. If we can access and change and alter energy from our past selves, well, why can't we go in the future? Well, we can. And just a suggestion here, I think that I wonder maybe that with the spaceships that people see, if maybe rather than from other planets, maybe they're future us.
Yeah, could be. I would agree with that. Sure. Yeah, I would wonder about that. Well, let me ask you this. So when you're talking about past lives and future, and you're kind of going into alter or heal those, and then that's going to affect your present life, right? Make your present life better.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
And also going up dimensions and leaving energy. It's almost like reverse mediumship, rather going up and getting energy, which, of course, you can do that too. Yeah. But you can also go up and leave and program things and clear things and protect yourself and alter relationships. And, many of our health issues, you'll find they're like, they're genetic, but they're also maybe like a cloud we don't see that is attracted to our family line.
Yeah.
And, we can, it kind of like offers, a disease might offer itself to us at some point at a very low point, just a little cloud of dark energy, and going in and perhaps finding the source of that and just getting rid of that, and like ancestral healing. And so when you clear some of that stuff for yourself, you're clearing it for your children, because some of it is physical genetics, but some of it's spiritual genetics and soul genetics. And so you can go in and clear stuff on a lot of levels, really, really become in charge of your own life in very powerful ways. And of course it gives you psychic abilities too.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So you're clearing and healing yourself and your family, like almost changing the trajectory, if you will. Yeah, that's awesome. I love this. So everybody, I'm going to have, because we're running out of time. This goes by so fast. I always hope that we have enough to talk about, but we always do. It's awesome. So, all right. So Karen, let's go one by one and put each class up again, because I want everybody. I don't know how you guys could not be signing up for these courses. I know I want to. Okay, so we have first Atlantis Rising, okay, and that's with Jill Mattson in Lilydale. Now, this one you can come to Lilydale, take it in person or take it on Zoom. July 23rd, 9:30 to 4:30. Walk-ins welcome, okay, and Jill, if you tuned in late, go back to about 30 minutes in, and you'll get to hear all about this course. So that's Lilydale. And what do we have next, Care? Our powerful connections with celestial frequencies of the sun and moon. Okay, again with Jill Mattson. This is through Fellowships of the Spirit. This class is going to be offered on Zoom, okay? Tuesday, Thursday, June 14th and 16th. So that's coming up soon. 6:30 to 8:30. And that one you can sign up. If you look in comments are all the links to register. So you can go on www.fellowshipsspirit.org. That's 2 S's in there. Okay. And you can register for that one. And that sounds awesome. And Jill, if you go back again, the last half hour, we're talking all about these classes. Okay. And this one, oh, I love this one too. Power and healing for you from your higher dimensions. This is again also through Fellowships of the Spirit with Jill Mattson. It's going to be offered on Zoom Tuesday and Thursday, July 19th and 21st, 5 to 6 p.m. Access higher dimensions. Oh, I love this. Experience past and future lives. And if you do that, you can access them, heal things in them, and make your life now, improve your life now, which really all three of these courses will do. So, okay,
there was a typo in that last graphic. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
It's from 6:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
And everything else was correct on it, but it's not the 5 to 7. It's 6:30 to 8:30. I just corrected the links on the website, and they'll be on Facebook shortly.
Yes, and actually, I think Karen told me that, so it's probably my fault too, because I had it written down here, but I read the graphics. So anyway, so Jill, anything else and that you want to talk about with the courses, or what can everybody do today to connect to sound and feel better?
Well, I would say let the music play you. You know, you can resist with your intent, or you can be open and receive. So maybe you want to go to my website and try some of it, and allow it to heal you. Just feel the oneness, feel love, and when you start to feel pain, just observe it and watch it go. You know, sound's a carrier wave, and will take out the negativity if you allow it. So
Yeah.
let the music play you.
Ooh, I love that. I love it. Open your heart and listen, and let yourself, I think it's let yourself feel whatever you feel. Like, don't be afraid of your feelings. We have to feel them. And sometimes even like the pain, like you said, just let yourself feel it. I know I intentionally sometimes watch a movie or listen to a song that makes me cry. And it doesn't ruin my day. It actually makes it better because I release the emotions that I'm carrying inside that I think we all do.
Yeah, we've had a lot of lies, a lot of pain, and it all holds us down. And so, the thing about music is you don't have to remember the situation that caused it. So you're not tempted to think, oh, well, I didn't deserve that, or who do you think he is? You know, none of that stuff, because you don't even know the situation. You just know maybe loneliness.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of be objective and say, do I want to be lonely? Well, no, poof, gone.
Gone. That's right. And that is the power of music. I loved this. I thank you so much for coming on. I love talking to you. I learned so much. I know everybody else did too. Take a look in comments, rewatch if you came in late, and watch it again. Even if you were here, I'm going to watch it again. So I want to thank Jill Mattson so much for coming on. I appreciate it so much. And also thanks to Karen Sully, because her doing all the technical stuff. I could never do this without her. So thank you, Karen. And thank you to all of you too. I appreciate it that you took time out of your Sunday to spend with us. And I hope to see you next week. We'll be back on, and definitely take a look at Jill's courses. I'd definitely sign up for some courses. You'll heal. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday.